Hi, I'm Amnon, if any of you recognize kind of who that is. And you might know me, those of you who do, might know me for one of the following things. There's my musical presentations for the developer groups and otherwise. There is my blog articles. I've joined the MVP program this year. And some of you might know me from the community. But for those of you who do, can anyone point out if you've known me before last year, before 2018? Well, you have you? I'm not sure. Think really hard if any of you have actually heard of me before 2018. And the number of people who do is probably in the single digits. And there's a reason for that. And I've come to tell you today about how I've gone from being an absolute nobody just last year to being recognized for all of these things that I've just listed, and hopefully help some of you on a similar journey. So my story starts in 2013. That's when I got married, I left my job and I looked for something temporary. I just happened to encounter a project on Salesforce. I was just doing some Android development and happened to be using Salesforce at the time. And I ended up staying at that company for a while. Things were looking up. I was learning Salesforce, but I was kind of doing things my own way. You know, I was developing stuff and using websites for help, but I've never been to a meeting like this, never been to a meetup, never spoken the word community, never spoken to anyone, really. It was just me and my little world. And I'm sure a lot of people had a similar start. You start with a system. What's that? Why do I care about the community? Why do I care about doing all these extra things? Let me just get on with my work. And that went fine for me until a couple years ago when a few things happened. So first of all, I lost my job under the worst circumstances. Oh, I know.
Come on, guys, give me something.
And now I was an architect at this particular company, and I figured I'd go for another architect position, right? And when I went to interviews, and I kid you not, the interviewers would laugh at me. Why would they laugh at me? I had 4.5 years of experience architecting Salesforce solutions. And that's because I left that company with only one certification. I was Platform Developer 1, and that was about it. And all that stuff and the way that my work and I broke up led to a severe, depressing state. I was out of money, out of a job, with about 30 days to go before I have to go to the bank and ask for loans. But I did have one lifeline. There were 2 consultancies whom I spoke to who were willing to offer me a job. Well, they gave me a caveat. They told me, well, you think you're an architect? Prove it. This is the architect pyramid. Those of you who know of Salesforce certifications know that this is kind of like currency when it comes to the type of work that you want. Of course, it's not the only thing that matters. Experience matters a lot. But having the right certifications is very important for a lot of employers. And they told me this. If you can get 3 certifications from this pyramid, we'll keep you on as an architect. Prove to us that you can do it, we'll keep you. Sounds reasonable, so I took it. And the first thing that you do when you decide to make that climb on top of the pyramid is study. Now this is Salesforce, guys. If you're not prepared to spend a lot of hours studying things, you're going to be missing out on the best that your career can offer. Because this is all about learning new things, learning how things work, learning the right way of doing things. Things that I had no idea of before, because I was doing things my own way. And I didn't know best practices, and I didn't know what the order of execution is for Apex triggers. And those things got in my way when I tried to promote myself in life. So I spent about 2 hours a day studying every day. And just before an exam, I'd spend 48 hours absolutely immersing myself in the material. And if you guys are telling me that you can't spend 2 hours a day just reading something online and just doing some quizzes, then I don't believe you. 2 hours a day is not that much. But Trailhead is not the only source. There's a whole blogging community. People like Gemma Emmett, Keir Bowden, Ben McCarthy, Christine Marshall, who have incredible blogs that are immensely packed with knowledge, some of which is very relevant for the exams. So Gemma's blog has guides or thoughts about virtually every certification there is. So feel free to read some of that if you're looking to go through an exam. Using social media, turns out, was extremely important as well. This is my first tweet. You can see that I only have 1 like, and it's from my employers. That was in January of last year, right? It's not that long ago, January of last year. And of course, attending groups like this, because this is where you meet people, this is where you learn what's going on in the industry, and that's how other people get to know you on common, friendly terms. Because when it's time for them to hire someone at their workplace, if you need a job, A, you'll probably hear about it first if you just have that regular discussion with them, and B, they'll know you. So of course they're going to, like you more than some random candidate they just met from the internet. All of these things absolutely give you an edge in your career development. With all of those behind you, you can start actually focusing on achieving your goals. So a few weeks later, it's another tweet of just getting more certifications. You talk about these things. You give credit to the people who helped you. In this one, by the end of January, I knew that if you actually thank the people whose blogs you read, the people who helped you get to whatever successes you have, that reinforces that message so much more. Salesforce is not just about building yourself up. It is very much about the community around you. And to be part of it, you have to communicate with people, you have to thank them, you have to show them that their efforts are appreciated. This, however, all of this stuff is just step 1. You can build yourself up using Salesforce materials on Trailhead, using the blogging community, and using groups like this and online groups and all that. But none of that is going to get you recognized. You might get a bunch of certifications, you might get a job, but yeah, won't give you any recognition within the community. And to do that, you need to start giving back. And who do you give back to? The exact same things that help you build yourself up in the first place. This is me back in June doing my first public talk at the developer group. So I came to the developer group, they helped me out by meeting everyone. Here I am giving back. You write blogs. Whenever you had any sort of success, any sort of challenge that you overcame, you write about it. Why? Because other people are facing those same challenges. I used Gemma's blog to help me get through the certifications. So in return, I wrote my own blog about topics that were challenging to me, so that other people could learn from them. And of course, we have the online community where people ask questions. They need help. If you know something, you help them. It's as simple as that. And all of these things combined help you not just build yourself up as a professional, but also as a human being and part of this community. Regarding the people around you, when you come to these groups, you make friends, you meet people once, twice, 3 times, you kind of get to know them personally. And when it comes to those people, I do what I like to call my circle of success. That means the people who matter to you, you have to help them succeed. Doesn't matter what. If you know of a job that would help them, or if you can just help them with their work from time to time. Every now and again, I get a call from a friend of mine who I met in one of these groups. He's an architect too, and he asks me about architect stuff. How would you do this? And I take 30 minutes out of my day to help him figure out those problems. We all have friends. We all want to make our friends, the people close to us, successful, because if we do, we become surrounded by success. And when we're surrounded by success, there's no way for us to not become successful as well. Someone will reflect that success back onto you. When you do all these things, you'll notice that you start getting recognized. It's small at first, so there's a program called SFTC Hero by a company called Sasnick. And at some point last year, they had a form asking for people to submit other people for the SFTC Hero Award that they have every month. And someone submitted me. Do I have spinach in my teeth? I don't know. There's a bit of a mark on the screen here. It looks like I'm missing a tooth. And they've decided, yeah, that's cool. We think that person deserves recognition for the work that they do for other people. But that recognition is not the end of the road. You have to keep going. You use that recognition to do more. Once you become recognized for something small, people know you, they begin to develop trust. You have conversations where they ask you things, they ask you for help, and you use that. So you invest more time on the community, you invest more time talking to your friends, helping them. And eventually, you start growing more and more, and the recognition that you get becomes much more relevant. And just a few months ago, I came back home from holiday to find an email saying that I've been selected to be MVP this year. What for? I don't know, but but I'm assuming that the MVP selection process involves the community, it involves other MVPs, and it involves Salesforce employees as well, who kind of look at your conduct and check whether or not you contribute to other people or whether you just take away to build yourself. And if they reach the decision that you're someone who can give to other people as well as participate and take some for yourself, that's what makes you part of the program. Of course, some of you know this photo. It says mission accomplished. The mission's never accomplished. So the MVP status that I have is very recent, but I'm using it already to start doing more. So I'm actually working with some people in Salesforce to try and give some free stuff away to people. Working with the community groups. I'm working with things that I haven't done 3 months ago when I received this award. But at the core of all of it is just the idea of not just taking, but also giving to other people. And if any of you want to share anything with those around you, whether it's your close friends, the people in this room, or if you want to speak at one of the groups, if you want to, if you've had any sort of interesting challenge that you've solved, you can be certain that other people are facing those same challenges and could really use your help on them. And giving back not only feels great, not only does your soul good, but there is recognition to be found and there is success to be found. So that is really all I had to say for today. If anyone has any questions?
At the beginning, you had 1 like.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
Well, so you may.
Someone was about to say, right?
So
118 on actually.
I think I have just under 1,200 followers now. MVP gave me a nice boost, but even before that, just for my community work and meetups and that, was nearing 900, I think. So definitely.
What was you on before? So when you had that 1 like, how much did you have? Did you say 900?
No, I no followers,
Yeah.
zero. Zero. I
what?
don't even have a Facebook
So
account.
in a year, you've got to how much?
So that was January
2008.
2018.
Yeah.
Now it's July 2019.
Yeah.
1,200 followers, which is not, I mean, it's okay,
Yeah.
but for 1 year, I think it's nice.
Pretty decent.
But it's also the fact that I can speak to people at Salesforce or people in Australia and try to promote things and help things. And when someone needs help, they know that, they can come and they will find it.
Yeah, and fair play, because I remember someone got in touch with me. So I'm a recruiter, and someone got in touch with Amnon, and Amnon actually referred them on to me to actually help them with their career, which I remember, which is testament to the work he's saying.
That was step number 2. Before that, we had a whole bunch of helping them to get certified, and there's tutoring involved, and sometimes you kind of put the one-on-one with people who need the help as well.
Fair play. Well done.
One other question.
You said pre-2013 you were an Android developer?
Well, I actually worked on a different CRM platform.
Oh, okay.
It was called Clarify.
Okay.
It was offline, nothing like Salesforce. But I did a lot of Java development. So when I was looking for something temporary, absolutely temporary, I figured Android is Java, why not?
And how does, I guess, the Salesforce ecosystem compare with that one?
Ooh. So Salesforce is a great platform. And I'm not just saying that. In fact, I've just launched my own application company, my own ISV, and it's on Salesforce. So if I didn't think it was a great platform, I wouldn't have done it. With that being said, it's not perfect. There are costs associated, there are limits associated, we all know them, but they're definitely worth it. As if I were to compare working on Salesforce with my old platform, I would say it's a world of difference for the better. So back then, I like to tell an anecdote that if you wanted to get any sort of help or any sort of documentation file, you'd have to draw a pentagram on the floor with candles, do a little dance, maybe sacrifice a goat, and you maybe get a PDF file that's 3 years out of date. Here, you go on a website and you ask and people answer. So, absolutely recommend it.
Anyone else? No?
Right, well, thank you very much.